Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new around here, hello and welcome. My name is Katie Marie, and we are going through my collection of 2021 and counting down all the way to my #1 favorite palette from the year. And in this video, I'm going to do a dedicated video and tutorial featuring the #2 palette. So we're almost there. Next video you're going to see is going to be the last one for the year, and it will feature my #1. But today we're going to focus on #2. I'm going to create a look with it and just kind of go on and on. Basically, it tends to be what these videos are. Just go on and on about how much I enjoy it, and I just enjoy being able to feature it one more time on my channel, creating another look before the year is out. So that's what we're doing today. This is inspired by Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. She does this over on her channel where she takes the top 5 and does dedicated videos with them throughout the month of December. So if you enjoy this video, you'll definitely enjoy her channel. If you like my type of looks, you'll definitely like Annette's looks, so definitely go over and check her out after this video. But yeah, as I said, today is the #2 palette, and you'll have to let me know if you guessed it, but I'm going to go ahead and reveal it now. My #2 palette from all the palettes I tried in 2021, which was about 60 of them, is the Beaute Tropical Vibes palette. This palette came out not that long ago, but was such a good formula, had such a great color story that you guys, if you aren't new around here, you know I love greens. If you are new around here, hello, my name is Katie and I love greens, especially these tones. It stole my heart immediately and I have loved it ever since it came into my collection. So yeah, it pretty easily won the 2nd spot, and I kind of wanted to put it #1 just because I love it that much. However, you're going to see tomorrow where I put the palette that I did at #1, but you'll have to wait for that video, or not tomorrow. In 2 days. I'm doing it every other day in December. But anyway, yeah, this is the palette. This palette came in, as I said, at the end of the year, but stole my heart, and it settled very comfortably in the 2nd spot out of all the palettes I tried it in 2021. If you missed any of my videos with this palette, I did do multiple looks and reviews. I featured in Palapalooza. I feel like I've featured in other videos as well. I just haven't been able to stop talking about it or really want to stop using it either ever since I got it. So I'm super excited to be diving into this palette and creating another look with it. So let's just go ahead, zoom in close. I'm going to prime my eyes real quick, and then we can get into creating a look that hopefully I haven't done on my channel yet, just to give you guys something new and different. Okay, so for this look, I'm not really exactly sure what I want to do. Story of my life. I know I say that like in every video, but I definitely want to use this because I didn't really feature it all in the previous video I did, and it's a really pretty shadow. I also want to use these really lime yellows. I'll probably do more lime green because I think in my initial video with this, which I'll link it down below, but I'm pretty sure I heavily featured this along the edges of a look, so I kind of want to go into this because I packed that on the lid. So I want to use this in more blending today, and then this, as I said, on my lid. And then what are we going to do in the crease and on the outer corner? The outer corner, I think I'm just going to go right in with, I think I'm gonna do this kind of like the winged out look, and I'm gonna top it with this to make it nice and green, to do something a little different. I did that kind of look not too long ago, and I really liked how that turned out. So that's what we're gonna start with, and then we'll see what I do in the crease. By the way, if you're curious, my highlight today, just because I feel like it's incredibly blinding, is the Glam Light Pina Colada highlighter. Finally tried it out for the first time today. I did put it on when I had like set my face and it was still a little bit tacky. So that could have something to do with why it's so intense, but I mean, I was going very light with it when I was putting it on because I was like, ooh, I don't want it to be too intense. And it's pretty intense today. So I'm just gonna line this, kind of using it as a winged out look, but I wanna blend, as I said, I'm gonna blend the green on top. So it's gonna kind of haze it out and I don't know, create something. I just kind of want a lot of depth in here, kind of giving a winged out look, so maybe I can just skip the wing today. But I want the outer corner to be really green. So yeah, you'll have to tell me. I feel like people are definitely going to be able to guess this palette as being in the top, maybe even in, you know, you were able to guess it was going to be #2. So if you did guess that, let me know which one you had assumed would be my #1. I feel like it's pretty easy at this point, but it's still fun to see in your comments, to read in the comments and see which ones you guessed for which days. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough for now. I don't want to bring it in too far because then I feel like it just gets too much darkness right up here. Or maybe I can just go like this and just kind of blend. I'm always scared of like making my eyes water. Ooh, yep, I just went into my eye. Okay, that's good enough. We're gonna leave it there. Don't want to play with fire too much. Okay, so there is how that is gonna look. We're gonna start with that, and I'll probably maybe take a little bit higher, but I wanna see what it looks like putting the green down. I didn't even say, but this is an LO4 brush. It's a detailed lip brush from Sigma, and I love to use it for lining my eyes. Now I'm gonna take this one. This is a small point eyeshadow brush, ES6, and I'm gonna take that dark green that I pointed out earlier, and I'm going to put this kind of acting like I typically do with my darkest color and putting it on the outer corner. I'm seeing a little bit of fallout that I should probably pick up sooner rather than later, but let's pack this on real quick and then I'll dust that away. Ace Beaute's mattes are just so like rich. I love it. They have such a depth and richness and intensity to the colors as well. I love that when I'm working with them. I never have to like worry about blending too much and making the color kind of fade or soften up. It's just so punchy. I really like this new matte formula. It's nice and creamy and soft. And of course, obviously, I love the Color Story. I feel like that's a total given at this point. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit higher. Just kind of diffuse it into here like so. Okay, so I was playing around on this side a little bit. I haven't finished it, but I was just placing colors to kind of see what I wanted to do. I was gonna go ahead and finish it, but my camera battery just started flashing. So I kind of want to finish up this side before it dies, hopefully. Anyway, so I'm gonna pause on this side, but this is pretty much what we're doing. So let's go ahead and I'm taking this tiny little Morphe something brush. It doesn't have anything on it, or any, I don't know, letters or anything on it, but I'm gonna take this shade right here, this nice, pretty, bright, grungy green here. Is that even a thing? Bright and grungy, but I'm gonna put this the rest of the way into my inner corner, keeping it right inside my crease. This shade I had noticed when I did reviews tended to be a little splotchy if you weren't careful. It didn't blend it out fully. So I'm just gonna pack it in here and then spend a little bit of time blending to make sure it's nice and smooth. But I had used it on my lid in an all matte look, and you can't really blend an all matte look, if you know what I mean. So I wanna see if as I'm blending this, kind of solves that problem. Yeah, I feel like that's smoothing it out nicely. So good to know for future. I don't think this is a good shade to pack on an all matte cut crease, just because that shade specifically, UOAHU, however you pronounce that, that one definitely can look patchy just packing it on. Now I'm gonna take this shade, which didn't have any problems when I packed it on a cut crease. I'm gonna take this, pack it on my brush, and then I'm going to take it around here and bring it up into the front part of my crease, or inner part, whatever you want to call that. But I'm going to really spend some time blowing this out, and then I'm going to go back and forth a little bit with that green I used on the inner corner. I'm going to put it right in between there if I need it, but I'd rather use more of this lime, really bright yellow here on the outer edge, just because I love this color. I don't want it to get too dark out here, so I'm going to blend with this first for a bit, and then just take a touch of that if I need it to kind of mesh the two, since it's such a dark green with, you know, such a very bright light chartreuse, apparently, because that's what the shade is called. So yeah, we're just gonna do this. Oh, that's blending really nicely, that green. Such a pretty color. So then I'm gonna take that tiny brush, just like I did before, for the inner portion of it, and I'm just gonna take it right on top. Like I said, I didn't want to put it down first because I didn't want it to be too strong. I want this shade to be pretty invisible and just kind of be the part that marries the two together. So yeah, I'm just gonna spend some time blending over this. I'm liking how it's looking. I'm gonna take that shade I used the darkest green on, and now I'm gonna take that, and that's gonna be kind of like my last step to blend out this outer corner. So yeah, just a bunch of back and forth at this point. I am liking how it's looking though. I don't know if that dark shade really was, you know, necessary. I feel like it didn't, I don't know, maybe I didn't make it quite big enough to make an impact. I'm just gonna place it back down. I think I will skip the liquid liner and just let this be the line, kind of like a soft wing liner. My simple human mirror must be dying because it keeps shutting off like super fast compared to what it usually does. Okay, so like that, I think I like how this looks. Okay, so at this point, let me dust anything. I don't think I have really any fallout. That's nice. Only a little bit of the darkest green had gotten some fallout when I first started packing it on. Just for reference, now we're gonna go in and let's take this brush. It is an Ofra 8885 brush. It's a nice flat brush. You guys know I like these type of brushes for packing on shimmer. And I'm gonna put a touch of this, let me go ahead and do this, NBA Cosmetics Foil Line and whatever it's called, FX. I'm gonna pop this down on the lid and come upward because the Ace Beaute shimmers are pigmented enough and smooth enough that it'll definitely cover all the mess I have on my lid and give me that cut crease look that I like with my shimmers, or like with my eye looks. And I might as well go ahead and change the battery out while I'm waiting because I love this for this product for how good it is at holding things down, but it does take more than a couple seconds to dry. So I'm gonna let this dry and might as well catch this eye up and then change out the battery. Okay, change out the battery and I'm back. We're gonna dive right into this, and I think I'm gonna let this be the star of the show and go over my entire lid. We're gonna do that. Maybe I'll add a little bit in the inner corner, but I think I'm gonna let this be the star of the show. Like I said, I didn't feature it, I don't think at all, when I reviewed this palette, so I want this to be the star of the show this time. I think I said in my review this shade kind of threw me off a little bit because I feel like it's a little bit of a different type of green than what everything else is going on in this palette. Like everything else is just so grungy, or like at least leans to or lends to the grunge, whereas this I feel like is a lot brighter. But as I've been using it more, it's like, okay, it's got some depth in there, it's got some grunge in there. I think, I don't know, it just had a lot of blue in there. I think that's why, or maybe just it was my perception that it was more of like a blue green instead of a grungy type of, I guess, brown green. That was why I was just kind of like, oh, you know, that it just stumped me a little bit. But as I said, having used it, having seen a bunch of looks with it, it's like, it goes really well with the grunge look. I don't know what I was thinking before. So yeah, just look how beautiful. I hope you guys can see how sparkly that is. It's so pretty. I love Ace Beaute's sparkly formula. And yeah, not much more I need to say about it than that. It's just a great formula. It does transfer up if you're curious. I do see a lot of transfer throughout the day. It definitely depends on what type of glitter primer I put underneath. The NBA one is definitely the better one that I've tried out of all the ones that I've tried. But even with it, it'll still, my nice really crisp cut crease will just look a little hazy by the end of the night. Alright, so there we have it. Oh, the sparkle. Sorry, I feel like I'm falling down on the camera. I'm just kind of hunched over my mirror here, but the sparkle is gorgeous. So now I'm going to take that darkest green that we use, this shade right here. I'm going to use that to kind of soften up that line, because while the shimmers are beautiful, if you just leave it, there's definitely like a really intense just line where the shimmer drops off as you're, you know, applying it on. I don't know, it just always happens for me. It's not a con, it's just something I noticed to be more strong than maybe others type of shimmers that are a bit thinner, but their shimmers are just so intense and so creamy that I like to take something and just soften it up. And I think I'm going to focus more on the bottom part and then very gently do the top portion, just like that. Okay, so at this point, dusting off that green, that dark green is really the only kind of fallout that I've noticed. Oh, maybe there's a little bit of sparkle now that I'm kind of moving my face. I don't see any color, but I definitely see sparkle. So none of the actual color has fallen down, if that makes sense or helps you at all. Okay, at this point, let's go ahead and just connect it all around and finish off the lower lash line. And that's gonna be pretty much the look. I'm gonna take this liner brush from, I think this is Clionadh? Yeah, Clionadh Cosmetics. I'm gonna take that darkest, let's do the darkest green, just to bring the green around. And I'm going to try to stay in frame and stay in focus, and also not let my eyes water, but I'm just gonna bring it straight down. Once again, a little bit of that green has dropped down. But while we're here, let's go ahead and put a green in my waterline. I'm gonna take this nice dark green. This is from Smashbox, it's the Baller. It's just a nice green, kind of reminds me of what I got going on here, that same hue. I'll put this in my waterline. I like to put this down first before I like blend out my lower lash line, because I feel like as I'm blending it stuff, it'll soften any gel liner that gets on my skin, because it can be a little harsh looking. So I like to put that down first and then kind of work at blending my lower lash line, and it just all blends together really nice. At least, you know, for me personally, that's how it works out. I'm gonna take that brush that we use the, I don't know, mid-tone green on, that shade right there, and I'm going to be turning my light back on and taking this right on the inner portion. I might need a smaller brush. Hang on, not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna take that right on the inner portion and kind of meet it back around and help to start softening up that dark green. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and take that brush. I think, no, I'll just stick to the brush I was using before. This is the E27. I'm gonna take that chartreuse shade, and we're going to go and smooth out all along the edges here, because this edge, I'll do this side so you guys can see well after I dust off that last bit of green. But I'm just gonna use this to kind of soften up anything that got messy here, tie the whole look around, and yeah, it's just a really great shadow for this type of work. It's not like super intensely like a bright color. that's super noticeable. It's one of those colors that's really nice to use to kind of blend in and diffuse into the rest of your face so that it looks very effortless and seamless going from all your eye makeup to your face makeup and not such like a harsh line. I love shades like this in a palette. And yeah, I like how that looks. Let me go ahead and finish up the inner corner and then I'll stop to do mascara and all that and catch this eye up. This poor eye keeps getting neglected. But I'm going into Rainforest and I'm going to put that on the inner portion and I'll probably take it up just a touch just to cut my crease a teeny bit more and also just to add a little lightness and shine. I don't have to wet these, but I am going to. Typically, if you're ever curious, whenever I wet my brushes, I like to use this Pixie Glow Mist. Mainly because it's the glow mist, so like maybe it'll add more pizzazz to whatever, you know, whatever I'm putting on my inner corner, but also I don't use it to set my face because I'm not looking to be glowy, so it's a good way to use it up and it works well. I've been using it for literally years. I'm not going to tell you how long I've owned that bottle. But I'm just going to take it and then like I said, I'm going to take it up. Not really sure why, I just feel like doing it. So we're going to do it. This shade that I'm using is more of a light, not transparent, but it's not as pigmented as like the green we just used, so I don't even know how this will work. But maybe it'll just bring a little lightness to this inner edge right here. Like that, what do you guys think? I know I have a shadow here, so I think you guys can see. You'll be able to see in the close-up as well. But yeah, we're just gonna do that, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish it out here. I'm gonna catch this eye up, put on mascara, and then I'll come back on camera and show you guys the final look and close-ups. So I'll be right back. Alright y'all, so here is the final look. This is how it turned out. And I hope it comes across on camera how much sparkle, like as you turn your head, there's just so much sparkle. And then the inner corner highlight, that shade, that one is one of my favorites because it's just so intense and beautiful. And bring it up a little bit did bring a lot of lightness in there, so I like how that turned out. But yeah, overall, it's just a fantastic palette. I love it so much. It looks like these with all the grunge and all the like the lime greenness on the outer edges. It just makes my heart so very happy. So when I got this palette, when I tried it and was so impressed with the formula, I knew it was going to get high up in my ranking because the COLORSTORY just, like I said, it makes my heart happy. So it had to go very high on my countdown, and that's why it's landing very comfortably at number 2 out of all the palettes I tried in 2020. I almost said 2022, in 2021. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really like how it turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing another look done with this palette, and if you want to see more looks and you might have missed it, like I said, I did review this and I included 2 looks in my review, and I also swatched it and compared it to like all the grungy green palettes I have in my collection, which if you're new here, I just said that I love those type of palettes, so I own a lot of them. So if you're curious, you can check that video out to either see looks or comparisons to other palettes that have come out in the past. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. That is my number 2 palette from 2021. It is such a fantastic palette and it's going to remain a favorite of mine for a long time to come. I just know it because I love it so much, and even though, you know, I'm coming on here to do it for the last time in 2021, I definitely don't want to like put it back there and never use it again. This is a palette that I definitely want to bring back, or if I'm going on a trip, it's going to be one of the top contenders to come with me because I also love that not only can I get the grungy looks I love, but you can get some neutral in there as well, so you can be a little like, it can be Katie incognito mode in the wild when I try to be a little bit more tame with my makeup. But anyway, with all that said, that is going to do it for me from this video. As always, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there if you want to follow me. I post reels, up close eye pictures, all that sort of thing. And yeah, come back in 2 days and it's going to be the final video that I do for Kate Miss. Cannot believe it, but it'll be the final video and I'll be doing an eye look with my number 1 palette. The top palette out of all the palettes I tried in 2021. I'll be doing a tutorial with my number 1 palette. Leave your guesses down below which palette you think that'll be, and I'll see you guys very soon in that one. Bye guys.